Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Show and Tell After Dark. Y'all could have been anywhere today, but y'all here. Thank you. I was just thinking about going back to church. Yeah. But this will be kind of like a church, but a little bit more therapeutic. Because church ain't what it used to be.
Oh no, they got communion.
Church is not what it used to be. You ready? You gonna kick us off with the first question?
Yep. So we have a bunch of questions that were submitted, and you guys can take the conversation wherever you want to go. And the first question is, what's the worst part of reaching the age of 30?
The worst part of reaching the age of 30.
Who's over 30 in here? Or who will be 30 this year?
What's different from 30 to 29?
No.
Who's gonna be 30 this year and who's 30?
30 is when like people's dreams start to fade. No, like
I don't think there's a worst part.
Mine is also.
I think there's a worst part of turning 30. If you love life, then you're gonna love life whether you're 20, whether you're 30, whether you're 40. If you're worried about turning 30, you have more questions than you think. Because you should just be happy that you're alive, that you're even turning 30.
Yeah, but
it's called gratitude, you know what I mean?
There's some biological factors.
There's some biological factors. You can't drink the way you used to. You can't do certain things that you're used to. But the part of getting older is wisdom. So you have to use wisdom. So hopefully the older you get, the more wisdom you're gaining. So when you do start having health issues and you do start having certain issues, you know how to deal with those issues. You know what I mean?
You know how to balance it out.
Right.
I also think 30 is when like adulting goes into like full swing. Like I'm not 30 yet. You're not? No. Next year.
Despite how young and youthful I look, okay, and this is just good health and good eating and exercise, but I'm about to be 35 in May 18, okay, and there is nothing to be fearing about 30. I don't know about anybody else, but to me, getting older means having more money, having more opportunities to do what your broke ass couldn't do when you were 20. You were cute, but you were on the bus.
Yeah.
Right? Your body was snatched, right? But you had nowhere to go. But now you're grown. If you do it right, you still have your good health, and now you could do it comfortably. So.
The way I think about it is that I'm excited. I can't wait for 30 because I know once I reach that age, like for me right now, it's a journey. Like I'm growing, you know what I mean? And I know I can't wait to keep learning more and finding out about who I am, what I can do more. Like the other day I was telling Elm, last night we went out, we were having so much fun, and I'm like, man, I can't wait when I'm 80 and I can still move my hips the same way I'm moving my hips right now, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to reach 30 because I know by that time, I'm one step closer to reaching my higher self, just being up there and just illuminated in my mind, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I love that.
I feel like people only panic of getting older if they didn't prepare themselves for their life journey. You know what I mean?
Completely agree.
Like you spend all your time like digging around, chucking and jiving, you know what I mean, having a good time, wasting all your funds. And then when it comes to 30, you never thought about what kind of career path you want to create for yourself. You know what I mean? And so I think people who only panic about those times is people who didn't prepare themselves. It's kind of like people who just work in the job but never thought about retirement funds. You're just working. And then when it's time to do the retirement, you didn't think about it. You could have saved a lot of money. You could have retired earlier. So it's kind of like one of those things. So as long as you're mentally prepared and thought about what you're going to do, I think you'd be all set. If you haven't, then you better get to it.
Makes sense.
I honestly, a couple of things came to mind when you said that. Number one, I think we forget that it's just 30, and we have probably, on average, 70 to 80 years left after that.
Right.
Right? Like, you look at from that perspective, you're like, oh, it's just 30. I got time. And to Kevin, what you were saying, like now, they say 30 is now the new 20. And
money.
like everything I wanted to do, I'm 28 now. Everything I wanted to do, like, and I'm approaching 30. All my people who like are 30 or above or whatever, they feel the same, right? Like my stepdad, he's turning 60, and he hangs with his brothers and his friends. They never skipped a beat. Like, I think there's a threshold we reach of maturity that once we hit that, I'm gonna guess around like 26 or something, because I felt the same way since. Like, nothing's changed my mind. Like, you pick up on things quicker. So this is kind of like you said, I'm more excited because now I've learned more. Like, nothing can surprise me now. Like that's how I feel like I'm approaching. So it's kind of exciting.
Yo, honestly though, I agree with you 100%. Like, I feel like people put this idea on 30 as like this benchmark, this milestone, when it's not. Like, that is milestones for people that were like our parents, maybe, like to settle down, get a family, all this. Like, the time period we're in, people are chasing their dreams, living through their creativity, and like living their life with no regrets right now, right? Because at the end of the day, what's there to lose, right? Because we're trying to actually express ourselves creatively, do things that are like actually bring us passion, you know? Because we live in a society where you can do that stuff freely with the internet. Like, you can do that, and that's what I feel like people are leaning into a little bit more. With this 30 threshold, this 30 threshold is nothing. Like, yeah, like 30 threshold is nothing. Like, 30's young, 40's young.
Right.
Like, I don't know where people would put this fucking preconceived notion that 30 is gonna be the end of everything. It's like, yo, it's like 30. Like, whenever 30 comes and the nursing homes start accepting 30s, like, that's when we'll be concerned. Like, 30's nothing. We're good. Everybody just keep moving.
So do you feel like as soon as you start approaching your 30s, you have a little bit more pressure to start focusing on family?
Fuck them kids.
Moving on to our next question. Oh, you want to wrap up?
I'm joking. Like, no, I'm serious though, because like, I think it comes down to, like, if that's your priority, do it. If that's one of the things that you focus on, like, I definitely want to start a family. So yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about that. But it's not a biological clock for me. You know what I mean? It's not a biological clock for me, so I don't have to worry about that, right? But like, if I were to want to be able to in a relationship with like that, like, I would have to think about that, right? And not be like 40 or 50 with like a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I want to make sure I have intact. And I feel like people got to think about that too. That's the only time I think with that timeline.
So I'm 31 and I love my 30s. One of the things that I love about it is how much you are actually like within yourself, and you care less about how people are perceiving you, but you're being more of who you truly are. And another thing that comes up to me when I think of this question is, and you said something, you know, like, we have about 70 to 80 years left after that, but realistically, we don't know when we're gonna go, right? So like, we might as well live as fulfilling of a life that we can every day. That's all.
I agree.
So the next question is, stop comparing yourself is terrible advice. Do you agree or disagree? You said you agree? Terrible advice.
This is terrible advice.
Too-
And I thought, yeah, I agree. Like, I heard whoever came up with this is just like I don't even know. They say when they say something is a form of flattery, when you copy someone, it's the
Imitation.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And I thought about that one day, and I'm like, nah, that's some bullshit. Because if you're imitating someone, that means that you're not being you. You're imitating what someone else is doing. So how do you know who you authentically are if you're copying someone else and then trying to like twist it and screw it and say, oh, but because I'm just flattered by you. No, that means like you're low key like jealous of me. Mm-hmm. So don't flatter me, because the same person that's jealous of me is a dangerous person. Because if someone's copying you, they're low key jealous of you. And a jealous person is a dangerous person. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going out and I'm telling you, and that's why I always like say, and I don't always say it, but you people that have some kind of wisdom of certain things, they'll say, don't tell people your plans. Don't tell anybody what you're doing. just do it, and then after you've done it, say something. Because you have those, oh, it's a serious form of flattery, motherfuckers, that you tell your secrets to. Oh, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna go get this. You're like, yo, dog, I'm gonna go get this car. I'm about to go over here and get this pair of kicks. Next thing you know, oh yeah, dog, where you gonna get them from? Next thing you know, you and him got the same shit on. You like, didn't I just tell this dude I was going to get this pair of Air Jordans? Like, why are you? Watch that person. It's not flattering. They're a sneaky individual, and you need to cut them out of your life. That's all I have to say.
Quick question. Stop comparing yourself to whom?
I'm assuming it'll be people like in your field or people who want to do what you do.
So basically, like in psychology, right? You want to be able to copy the person who's better than you, not the person who's worse than you. So to kind of answer your question, you basically want to, and not imitate, but also emulate some of the attributes that a person may have. Like, you know, some people might say, oh, Kobe is in his own lane, and you know what I'm saying, or oh, Shaq is in his own lane, or LeBron is in his own lane, and or you might think that, you know, Prince, he had a lot of copycats, or Madonna had a lot of copycats. But to the latter, I think some people also need to understand that there's a difference between, you know, imitation and also like homage.
I think emulation is not the same thing as comparing. When you're emulating somebody, it's more of like a reverent state of understanding, like, okay, I kind of want to strive to be at this point. But when you're comparing, it's more of peer-to-peer comparison. And when it comes to peer-to-peer comparison, it really shouldn't affect you. The comparison should be inward more.
Do you think that comparing yourself to others either is an unhealthy mindset and will kind of stunt you, or is it a mindset that kind of makes you competitive and become the best you can be? Because there are sayings like reach for the stars and land on the clouds, or whatever the fuck it is.
I mean, that's the crazy part about it. It's a double-edged sword in that one respect. Like, at what point does it become detrimental? Because it's a perfect comparison sports to use. You want to understand who around you is nice, and then out of that region, you want to see who else is nice. And it's just a very delicate line between, like, I want to be just as good as them, so I'm gonna understand and adapt to what's around my surroundings to make myself better, versus I can't see past the fact that they're doing something that I can't, that maybe I may not be able to do.
Mm-hmm. So does that kind of mean the same when it comes to relationships?
No. Oh, yeah.
Wait.
That's a whole other can of worms. We do not want to talk about that.
Oh, I see.
We do not want to talk about. All right, can I talk about something else besides before we get to that? Because that's a can of worms, boy. Jesus. So, what is a mentor? Like, if you reach in for something like a mentor, right? Like business, whatever. It comes to music, whatever, creative. A mentor is, right, somebody doing what you're doing that's going to help you along the process to help you understand it, right? You're comparing yourself to them in an aspect to like learn from them, right? Not to shape shift, right? I think that's when it gets a problem, when you try to shape shift and become that person, because then that's not authentic, right? I think it's more important to go learn from them and learn the aspects that got them to where they're at, and then go. And then be yourself in that space. So I'm gonna get back to you for the relationships though.
So, because everything in life is a balance, I actually have two answers. I feel like when you're trying to be the best in your field, you should definitely have like marking benches of where you're trying to be at. Like, that's just how you strategize. And I think it's a benefit that there's certain people who already been there, so you could study what they did to make it a little easier for you. But at the same time, I feel like everybody has their own destiny, so no one should be imitating anybody. The only person who can fulfill the destiny that I was born with is me. Nobody else can fulfill that destiny.
So why should I try to fulfill somebody else's destiny because I see them on their path? Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm doing myself a disservice. I may never get to where I need to be if I'm trying to be this other person. So that's the double-edged sword of that. I feel like if you're doing your thing and people are emulating you, imitating you, I can see how it could definitely be a dangerous thing, but could also be a benign thing in a way that if a person is imitating you, that probably just means they haven't found themselves yet. So that's why they're trying to be you, because you're who they want to be. But I feel like when you're in that role as a leader, you know, it's important to make those people understand who they are so they don't have to imitate anybody. But it takes people time to do that, you know what I'm saying? So that's my answer to that. Like, it's all about one's personal destiny.
Real quick. All right, shit. Yeah. No, I get it. I think we're kind of comparing the idea of comparing yourself to somebody with being a copycat, right? That's a little different. Like, I remember when I was playing ball in college, it's kind of like, you know, you get to different points of talent or skill level different ways. Like, who's better, Jerry Rice or Randy Moss? Right? Like, they're different receivers. But once you're like,
yeah, that's two different beats that you're talking about, though.
So you can compare yourself, I think, after you've reached a top level in your own right. Then you can look around and be like, okay, am I as good as him or her? All right, whatever. I'm going to keep going on my path. But I don't think you definitely got to find your own way, like she was saying. Like it's kind of it's a weird balance of that. But you know, it's like you're absolutely right. Like don't copy, but there's a point where you got to figure out your lane and what works for you. Because like if you spend all your time trying to make it the way that person made it, you'll never make it. You won't. Like you can take bits and pieces and craft your own way, but that's the best way you can. That's the best way I see it. Anyways.
The next question. My homie's girlfriend is not my friend. My girlfriend is not my homie's friend.
Facts or cap?
Is that facts or
It's a cap. Facts or cap?
Facts or cap?
It's a fact. Just take that mic. You don't gotta ask. Just take it.
Now there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. If he's my best friend,
Who?
my boy, right?
Who?
Right here.
Oh, okay. Him right there. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
He introduces me to his girl. She's not on the same level as he is. Not even close, right? So she can still be a friend, straight up. But I'm not gonna talk to her about little things in my life. It's kind of gonna be on a more of a surface level. It's never gonna be too deep. Like, I don't know.
What if you said they knew them? Lilo, you said if you knew them before. You said if you knew them before that you would interfere.
For instance, like say for instance somebody went to school together before and they were friends. I'm not about to be like, oh, you can't be friends with them no more just because I'm dating her. Like that's weird. Like first, that's insecure as shit. Number one. But like number two, like that's weird. Like if somebody's friends with somebody before and then I happen to start dating them and then they're like, oh, yo, no, you can't be friends with her no more. That's weird. But if it comes to a certain instance where like, oh, my homie wanted to be cool, my shorty, then that's a different whole different story. That's a whole.
You said that's
story.
weird.
That's a whole different shorty.
That's weird. Yeah.
I was trying to bite my tongue. But so I'm a philosopher, as we all are. So I stand at a point of extremist, right? Because that's how I really understand concepts, ideas, da da da. So when it comes to relationships, in a perfect world, in a perfect relationship, yes, you should trust your significant other to do whatever, that be friends with whoever. If that's your significant other, in a perfect relationship, it shouldn't matter. So with that being said, I need you guys to know I'm speaking from a perspective of definition and perfection. If this is the definition of a relationship, that I'm speaking from that perspective. Yes, there should be no issue. There should be no problem. Now, in the real world, that's when you tie in the insecurities, the feelings, the natural things that then come of, spending time with somebody. Like, that's when it's like, all right, I feel like clarity is key in those moments. Like, yeah, y'all can be friends, but I just be mindful of this, and that, which can then lead to this and that. If you're aware, cool, I can't knock you, but you're aware. That makes sense.
I'm gonna chime in. I'm very open when it comes to stuff like this. So, for me, my perspective is, I see it as it all depends on how much. There's two things when it comes to like relationships like that, right? There's two things that people of color kind of fail in. It's either you trust the person or you're committed to the person. If you have both, you don't have that problem. Because if you watch all the shows, you've seen people not of color have relationships where their friends come over, but they're very concerned if somebody doesn't answer. You know what I mean? And it's normal to us. But when it comes to us, people of color, it's like, oh, nah, my man, he's a snake.
Yeah,
oh, nah.
I know exactly
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
mean.
So it's
Yeah.
all the mentality because we if you think about, a lot of people don't want to think about it, but subconsciously, you only base things on, if it was me, I probably would have did that. You know what I mean? They don't want to admit it. People don't want to admit it. But that's why you think that way, because you're like, damn, if my girl's friend came, I don't know what happened. Maybe if I had too much drinks. Why are you thinking like that? Because the reason why, because when you think like that, you think your girl or your boyfriend is going to be the same way. You know what I mean? So it's a mentality thing, and it's just kind of a wall we have to get through, because that's why our trust is so shaky. We can love our brothers and sisters, but we always have this limit where it's just like, we always got to make sure we look over our shoulder to make sure they don't do us dirty. You know what I mean? And that's the problem when it comes to that situation.
Yeah.
So you're saying if she was like, babe, I'm going on vacation with insert friend.
If our love is strong and she respect me the way I respect her, I have no problem.
Is that
you know what I
is that
mean?
universal?
No, like it depends on like the type of
It's
relationship.
a trust thing.
It depends on the type of relationship. Like for example,
if your significant other,
for example, my boyfriend, he has a female friend that he's had for literally like maybe like 6 or 7 years. So I came over to the apartment the other day, and she was there. No, they were just chilling. And I know that I know their relationship. I know that they're friends, but she and I have somewhat of a relationship too. And it's weird because if we have issues, like he'll tell her about the issues. I completely 100% totally trust my boyfriend, but I don't like that. Like, I don't feel like that should be a conversation. But there's also like me and Sabri. Me and Sabri have been friends for maybe 5+ years. When I met Sabri's fiance, I was literally like, first time in my house, it was me and my boyfriend. I was literally in the nude. And she looked at me and she was like, why you gonna close me with that? But ever since then, like me and her fiance, like we don't like text, but if I know that I needed to talk to her about anything, though she's Sabri's partner and I met her through Sabri, I don't think that Sabri would have an issue if that was to happen. So it depends on the dynamic between the two people, because I know for a fact Sabri don't even. I respect her so much and their relationship so much because they're 100% truthful and honest with each other. And I feel like you should have relationships with friends that you can learn from and that you can grow from. And that if you have an issue or a problem, then you can go either to that person individually or you can go to them together. And I think that people should start having and building relationships with people that they see themselves being friends with long term and not just let me see what I can do with this person, or it needs to be a solid foundational relationship and friendship.
I agree.
Yeah, I love y'all too.
Yeah, go ahead. It's okay.
I agree. And like, I respect that you have that like strong connection in your relationship, that you can trust him to have that friendship and trust yourself to have that relationship with her as well. Like, that's you showing that you respect him, you respect her, you respect their relationship, and you respecting your own relationship. Like, hey, I'm here.
Right. What y'all doing?
Yeah. Like,
on somebody's wings.
Everyone kind of went, oh, here's this girl been around. But as you like talked a little bit more, we can't really speak on what goes on in your relationship. You have your certain level of trust and respect. And I feel like that is the overall answer of this question. Like, we're all going to have our opinions. Like, no, you can't have a friendship with my homeboy. If that's your understanding in your relationship, okay. That's you trust them, respect them to that level.
Right.
If you feel like they can handle that and that they won't cross boundaries and that they love you and, you know, I feel like that's how it goes. Like, it's very individual, how long you've been with this person, how strong your chemistry is with this person, and the other people involved, the friends that are involved. How strong is your chemistry with that person? How strong is your trust with that friend?
Right.
How much does that friend respect you? Have they disrespected you? Have they broken your trust? That's all I got to say about that.
I agree. Trust him.
So I was gonna say that. So I never had a relationship where I was uncomfortable with my boyfriend having my girls' numbers, talking after an argument. I would actually tell them, call him and talk some sense to him, you know, things like that. But the word friends, no, y'all not friends. You my friend and he's my friend. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the middle piece. And, you know, my friends ride for me, just like if my family rides for me, just like as much as you like this man, and he could be bro, and everything, the minute that I tell you he did me wrong is the minute he no longer should be your friend.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta cut
You're with me. You know what I'm saying? He hurt me, whatever. You're not interested in calling him later, finding out his story. Okay? Now, if we're talking about children and people having babies and people becoming like family, that's a different story. Because no matter what you like or dislike about this person, they are here and you have to deal with it. But we talking friends, which is lucid. Like, they come and go as seasons, literally. I've dropped plenty. I only have some few real ones, and I'm probably gonna die with them. So when you think about the word friends, you know, no, you guys are not friends. But of course have a relationship. Of course have his number. Of course he can call you when he's having trouble with me. But it shouldn't be a situation where my friends are crossing me for him. My friends are speaking ill of me to him. I am my friends, like light in their eyes. It's all about me. You know what I'm saying? If there's an issue, my friends are trying to put me and my man together for my best interests. It's never a situation where someone's confused. Girl, I didn't know who the side to be on. Bitch, you fucked up because it's my side. You know what I'm saying? It's always my side. Yeah. And whether or not you have someone's real interest in heart, like, you know, girl, you did do him wrong. Good, you'll tell me that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't speak ill of me to him and be on, you know what I'm saying? You got to think about teams. You got to, if like guys, you love sports, right? Okay, well, would you want, I don't know the names, so don't, you know what I'm saying? Would you want Tom Brady to go to the Jaguars or some shit? I don't know. You know, I don't know. The Buccaneers or whatever. Would you want him to go to Kiki and Kaka? No, you know, you'll be okay. You know, you're not insecure. Yeah, they can talk. Opposite players can talk. But how close are you? Because you are on this side. Your interest, you have to remember that. And oftentimes, human beings do start to forget, especially when they start to be mad at you. So as quick as that's my bitch for life, if we have into a fallout, you may start speaking unintentionally, by accident, but that's where you want to keep things tight. Now, I'm not married, but I know a lot of old folks, a lot of people who've been in long relationships will tell you, long relationships last when you start to keep some things private. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you call your girl with things. Yes, you call your mama, but not for everything, not all the time. There are things that you need to keep in-house. You know what I'm saying? Because once shit start hitting the fan and she start Googling your man because he's been so damn close so long, she get a divorce and now she you know, she's checking him out, you'll regret the hell out of that. So it's okay, but you do have to be mindful and keep you and your business to get together. Okay? So that's my advice.
At the end of the day, it's like, if something was to pop off, where does your loyalty lie?
I agree with you. Well, I'm kind of gonna piggyback off of that. The way I do things is first of all, I don't even introduce anybody to my family unless like we're like or friends unless we like 6 months, a year in, because we need to establish our friendship.
That's right.
Right? Because everybody's just going into this dating crap, jumping in and out, and I'm in love, and I'm this, and having sex with this one, and I'm in a poly and this, and I'm all blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yo, how about you and the person that you're trying to have a relationship, establish your relationship, right? And this is why I think most relationships don't last, because people are too busy into the looks aspect of it, or that I have a type, and I'm going somewhere with this. I'm coming back around, and I have a type, and they're focusing on a type or a concept of what they think this person is supposed to be, instead of getting to know the person. Right? You're trying to have a relationship with your type, not the person. So sometimes you got to fall back 6 months to a year, whoever you're seeing, get to know them. Get to know their childhood. Ask questions. Get to know their mentality. Were you abused as a child? What was your first birthday party like? Get to know them, the person. Before you start bringing in friends and let me introduce you to my family. No. Let me get to know if you even sane first. I need to know the real you, not the representative, right? And so then once I know the real you and I'm like, okay, this person is who they are, I'm comfortable now, then I might introduce you to the family first. And then after that, maybe, we incorporate the friends, but all this meeting people and getting information and getting phone numbers and all that, that's just way too much. And the way I do things is, if you're in a relationship, it's cool, everything's great, friends know each other, that's great. But from just having like some pretty like gnarly experiences, once the relationship's over, I'm done. If I don't have children with you, there's no reason for me to contact mama, auntie, cousin. I don't need to call your mother at 6. Like, girl, how you doing, Miss Jones? Hi, I don't need. And once we done, we are done. Your friends aren't my friends. My friends aren't your friends. You don't have their contact number. They don't have their. We're done. Because sometimes what people do without wanting to admit it, they try to keep tabs low key on their exes, and they try to stay friends with their family members and cousins just to keep low key, keep tabs on them. Nobody wants to admit that they're doing that, but you know what I'm saying? You want to keep in contact because you kind of want to know, but you don't want to know. If you don't want to know, just shut it down. I don't need to talk to mama. I don't need to talk to cousins. I don't need to know your friends. Problem solved.
So you're cutting off.
Facts, right?
So you're cutting off friends. You're cutting off friends that stayed friends with your ex.
No. And the reason, okay, let me tell you, real shit. No, this is real shit. Let me tell you, no. Okay, I don't know all the women in here, and I know some of you men have had that one ex. That you like, there was that, like everybody knew everybody and everybody had everybody's phone numbers and people were just going out. And when that relationship ended, you never wanted to see this person again. Period. You didn't want them to see you. You don't want to see them, but they still had them contacts. And it was like low-key stalking you. And you're like, yo, please stop calling my mother. Stop. But by then, Pandora's box was open. You can't shut it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're cutting off friends that stayed friends with your ex?
You want to be alone?
Wrap us up, Tay.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk
All right,
about.
this is after this. After you, baby. Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about somebody saying your boyfriend, girlfriend, friend should be you're my friend. Oh, you're my friend. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I had to deal with that. I had to really struggle through that because it's something I noticed I do platonically. You know, I'd be like, if I introduce two friends, I don't want them being friends. I didn't want that, but I learned. I had to just like two regular friends.
Yeah,
and I be kicking it. And I call one, they be like, yeah, we bowling, but huh?
You don't like that?
Yeah, I hate mixing friendships.
Why?
Hey, yo,
why?
Hey, yo, wait, watch out. One of my friends right there, bro. He'd experienced it. He's experienced it. So I had to fight through that, and I had to do some real digging deep inside. And I can't. And everybody, you live your own life, you do your own thing, right? But I had to learn about myself and learn that was an insecurity.
Yeah.
Because I was scared to lose my friend.
I see.
So with me going through that, with me having that experience or those experiences, I've built up because it's really, you have to build up these skills. You have to train your brain, you have to train your heart. I built up these skills to then be like, nah, it's okay. Like literally, something will happen and then I'll hang up or something will happen. I'll just be like, nah, it's cool.
Wait, so you were like
5 minutes by yourself in the mirror. Nah, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
So you were saying like, I'm afraid you won't want to hang out with me anymore?
Yeah, I'm afraid you're one of the friends. He used to be one of the friends.
He talking about you? I'm done. That's the one?
Yeah, he was one of them. He was like, so you hurt about that? You hurt about that? Nah, for real. So I'm playing. So now I had to learn that. So me recognizing that it's an insecurity showed me that there was a void that I needed to fill within myself.
Yes, sir.
Of being afraid to be by yourself, to be alone, to be lonely. So like I said, with those muscles that I built up, I'm not gonna say I'm at that point where it's like, yeah, y'all could be, but I do know that I'm triggered because of something that I'm missing, and it makes me look into myself. Why is that not okay? I'm all about why not. Why isn't that cool? So if I can't find a why not, I'll let it go, and I just learn about myself, right? But I just want everybody to know I agree with y'all, but I do know that it's something that needs to be worked on. I don't think that's I don't think that's the way to go about a relationship. My girl should gladly be able to call my friend like, yo, Tay's tripping, like, what's going on?
Right.
Because he knew me for 10, 12 years.
Right.
She probably knew me for like good 5, 4, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and like it goes back to trust. And every time I use the word trust, I have to remind people, I don't think anybody trusts anybody 100%. And that's just me. So,
I just want to quickly add on before you go to the next what he was saying. It's one of those things when people got really think, are they really, people of a God or faith or destiny? Because sometimes it's not, when you think on yourself, like, and then I understand what you're saying too, because I've been there. But it's one of those things what I came to is like when you think of yourself, you start to become more selfish of the situation instead of thinking like maybe I was put here to put that person here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's funny that you say that because I had a conversation with my boy last night, and it was one of those things that I had to ask him a question. We ask him random questions, we get deep, and I asked him, yo, what if you never met me in high school? You know what I mean? And we just connected to all the people we knew. And it was just like, eventually, one of the people he makes music with, he was going to end up with him eventually, either way. You know what I mean? And it hit him. He was just like, I only met him because I cool with you. But one of my best boys, that's still his cousin. So eventually, he would have knew I made music and would have brought me to him eventually. I would have met this person. It's destiny. You know what I mean? Whether I brought him to him or somebody else would have, he was going to meet this person. You know what I mean? And that's what made me really like click about it. It's just like sometimes we just brought here to put people together, whether you acknowledge it or not. You know what I mean?
Right. I love that. That's very true. All right, next question.
Our next question is, was Will Smith smacking Chris Rock an example of how to protect black women?
Oh my God. Yo, let me get on that because that's one thing I bring up to people.
Wait,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So that's definitely one thing I bring up to people when that conversation, because I hear everybody having a conversation, Twitter, Clubhouse, at work, whatever the case may be. And I always bring that up too. And I'm like, it's funny how everybody worry about, what I would have did if I was Chris Paul, what I would have did if I was Will Smith, but nobody talks about how he defended black women at all. You know what I mean? Even if Jada act like she didn't fuck with it, because we know how that shit works, that money shit work. That's just always rigged. There's a script they gotta follow. Right. You know what I mean? Right. But Will still went out of character and did what he did, whether people felt like it was fake or not. You know what I mean? So it's like no matter how much good you do, people are gonna try to find the cons to your pros. You know what I mean? Because then the other question is like, what if he didn't go up there? People would talk shit still. Oh, you don't want to defend black women? Oh, you gonna let him talk about your wife? So either way, it didn't look good for Will. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things like I respect that he did that and that point of view of defending black women. Because let's be real, everybody who had something to say about it didn't watch the Oscars. They only know about that. So if you watched, huh? I was watching and it wasn't funny. It was no jokes until Chris Rock made that joke. And what makes it, people don't think deeper into it, Oscars majority of white people. It took a black joke to make everybody laugh. You know what I mean? Like nobody thinks about that. They think, oh well, cool. He insulted black women and everybody laughed. He made white jokes, nobody laughed. That's why they needed something to trend so everybody can watch the Oscars. That's what I'm saying. That's the situation with the whole world on that topic. It's like
Right, they don't think about the bigger picture.
Yes.
They just focus on that one.
because
thing.
once he did that, Oscars, because nobody was watching the Oscars. When he did that,
Turned it
everybody
up.
started turning to the Oscars to see what's gonna be next.
I see. That makes
That's
sense.
how it works.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say nothing. Who the hell is Oscar?
Oh, you're talking about? All right, so it's named after Oscar Michael. So like Oscar Michael, he back in I don't exactly know when, but he was really good at writing scripts. He was good at writing movies and all. And no, but that's what you need to know. That's what you listen. But anyways, just to hop into it, right? The way I see it is because me and Shane we talked about this, and I was like, they're both wrong if you really think about it. And it's like these are black men who we all look up to, and Chris Rock, he changed his joke at last minute to basically cater to the crowd. It wasn't good to me personally. And I saw and people at the time, he didn't know that she had this, what is it called? What is it called? Alopecia, you know what I'm saying? And it was poor. And Will, he is so crazy because I think he got out of character to hop into another character. And when he walked into the stage, nobody knew what he was going to do until he did it. And when he did it, and people thought he was going to get away with it until 2 days later, boom, he can't go back to the Oscars in the next 10 years. Boom, they're thinking about taking away his Oscars. Boom, he's being canceled right now. And it's really weird because we have people like Harvey Weinstein, and we have people like Dustin Hoffman and all these folks who molested, women, and they didn't have to give back their awards. So it's kind of it's definitely a hypocrisy on the Oscars, on the people who are behind it. But it's just a whole messed up situation. And,
It's all
and
part
on
of the
top of that, his wife is throwing him under the bus. Everybody's basically throwing him under the bus, and it's just disgraceful. But yeah.
Tay, did you want to go?
Yes.
And then friend after
So
that.
yeah, you're gonna hate me. You're not gonna kick me out. All right, so I feel like no, it's not off. My spirit's like, don't say it. Be quiet. I feel like right. So I feel like in a relationship, I always tell my woman this. In a relationship, if you're disrespected, you stand up for yourself. I'm behind you, and then I will full-fledged. I got you.
So she should stop.
No, I don't think nobody. And then boom, back now to Will Smith. I don't think nobody should got slapped. If you wanted to prove a point, this is how I feel like it should have went. The joke happened. I thought it was decent. The joke happened, right? I feel like Jada Pinkett should have been like, or even them both of them together, but initiated by Jada Pinkett. That's not funny. That's not funny, right? That's not funny. That's enough of a check right there. Shit. Everybody seeing your reaction be, yes, that's not funny. Yeah, she said that's not funny.
I think what really embarrassed her was the fact that her husband laughed because Will laughed. I feel like she was embarrassed because he did it.
I just wanted to redirect it to black women just to hear. Do y'all think that was a good way of protecting black women? How do y'all view it?
I don't think that he should have done that. I don't. I think that she herself, women know how to get a point across to a man, and a man knows when a woman is trying to get a point across with it. All she had to go was like this.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Just like that. And I swear to God, everybody would have got from this. But I think, like I said, she was embarrassed because her husband laughed. She was embarrassed because Will laughed. And then after that, after he noticed her reaction, that's when he went up there and did what he did. But nah, I don't think that was defending a black woman. Hell no, that was not it. That's not. And on top of that, like it's like Will and Jada, like that whole dynamic right there is
marriage for life.
very unstable. Anyways, yeah, like I just it's crazy. It's crazy.
Damn, they want to give you 2 mics.
Because I got a lot to say, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I go by the name of Shy Afrique. Yes, thank you. So the fact of the matter is both guys are great guys. They never had a problem outside of this. So the fact that everybody hates Chris for his joke is kind of messed up. He's a comedian. He's a comedian. And the joke was not that bad. You better stop it. Stop it.
I agree. It wasn't, yeah.
Oh, I see you at the G.I. Jane, whatever.
It wasn't that deep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's it. He didn't go through their marriage. They was on a red carpet somewhere and Laverne Cox was like, hey, Will and Jada, I like your dress, da-da-da. So, no entanglements are going to go down tonight. That, you didn't slap Laverne Cox? Mm-hmm. Why? Because then you would have been in trouble for slapping a trans woman or whatever. I don't know. But there's so many people that could have been slapped for their disrespectful jokes. That was not disrespectful. Was it tasteless? Yes. Was it corny? Yes. That old ass movie that nobody was probably around to come out. You had to Google it to see what it was talking about. But it did not deserve a slap.
I agree.
And if I was Jada, I would have been so embarrassed. Like, why did you do that? That was not that serious.
Laughed after.
I would have been so embarrassed. In front of everybody, in front of white folks. Now, I'm big on you don't act crazy fool in front of white folks like that. You better mean that shit. Mm-hmm. You did it live TV in front of all these wealthy white people. For what? For a G.I. Jane joke? He would have had to talk about my mama, my kids for that slap to be deserving. Mm-hmm. But he knew he cried because he knew it was an impulse.
Yeah.
And you realize how messed up that was and you wish you took it back. That was guilty tears.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, you would have been like, hell yeah, I do that shit again. What? Meet me outside. You know what I'm saying? You knew then, like, oh my God. Now let's be honest. Jada's not a villain to me, but I'm not married to her. If I was with someone who cheated on me, and I stuck around, I wouldn't be defending all that either. I would probably just be settled in the fact that we sleep in separate rooms in the house. I don't know what's going on over there. But I don't think that was meant to be slapped. I don't think she was meant to be protected in that way like that at that moment. If someone grabbed her, hell yeah, slap him no matter what she cheated on you with. You know what I'm saying? But it was a corny little joke and you went mad hard for nothing. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. Yeah, wrong person. Because Chris is a good dude. And it's like, oh, the good dude got slapped and Goodwill got punished. 2 good dudes got embarrassed. It was embarrassing. Embarrassing, okay?
Anybody else? Go ahead, friend.
So the one thing I want to add on to is that many people don't think deeply, like this is from my point of view, about Chris Rock's career. Man's been sold out since he's been sold out. Like even when you watch Everybody Chris, what school did he go to? He was in the hood, but he went to all white school. Mm-hmm. So he was raised by all white just by growing up. So it's one of those things where, there's even a video where he's like with the Ricky dude and everybody, they're like, oh yeah, we say nigga around Chris all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's cool shit. Like, and everybody was just like cool with it and let it slide or whatever the case may be.
You can't give your friends N-word passes?
So maybe, you know what? You deserve that.
But it's one of those things where it's just like Chris always been a sellout, and if you look at his previous shows of when he was doing what do you call it, hosting, he's always got to like make some kind of joke about black women. If you look at his previous stuff, like all his jokes always go towards black women. It's not like he makes, Chris Rock. So you know what I mean? So he kind of always attacking them in a way. So it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, I'm not saying it justified what Will Smith did, but it's just like it's not gonna happen around my girl at least. You know what I mean? Like you make all those jokes, I understand. You know, it's one of those things where people is just like it's ha 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 until it happens to you. You know what I mean? So from our point of view, everybody got a point of view, cool. But when you're in that situation, you're gonna act almost the same way. You're not gonna be like, yeah, I'm not that guy. When you're on TV, national TV, and you grew up from the neighborhood when you can't act like a bitch, you're gonna do the same thing, the same mistake he made. You're gonna be like, nah, I can't. Everybody looking at me on TV. I gotta make sure I make a move.
Yo, I'm just gonna give you a real life example, my boy. Cause I was in a scenario. I was visiting my ex shorty in LA, and we're walking from this fashion show shit, and literally, I'm walking with her. She dressed all to the nines and shit. I'm standing there. I'm walking. I hear somebody behind me like, "Hey, what's up, baby?" And I'm like, I turn around so fast, puff my chest so fast, and this nigga was on FaceTime with his girl.
Oh, damn.
But I was ready. And I feel like that's just like, I'm not saying that he did the right thing, but I'm saying like, you gotta at least show the effort to want to do that. You ask your shorty, you be like, hey, do you want, like, because that's what it all comes down to, right? Because nobody wants to be embarrassed like that. You know what I'm saying? Like respect, like it's respect levels. Like if you think that was disrespect, I'll go up there and check his ass. I'm gonna think that's just disrespect no matter what. So because I'm from St. Louis. I'm a little aggressive, so I'm not gonna give a tribute to that. But like I'm gonna ask her, do you think that was worth it to like go up there and take some out? But like on national TV, I would ask her first. I would.
Real quick.
Huh?
Oh.
But that's probably fake news, bro.
Yeah,
that's probably fake news.
That's kind of where I was going to take
a lot
it
of
too.
things in the bathroom, but I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say my tidbit. I would ask her if she thinks it's worthy of me doing something, because if it is, then I'll do it, because I'm ready about that action. If it's about my woman, if it's about that woman, whatever she need me to do, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's rich people's matter that. These people are very wealthy. We're not. I know I'm not.
I'm not.
They living in a whole nother echelon than we can ever be even. Like the fact that we're even sitting here trying to dissect these wealthy people problems is like, we got other shit to think about right now. Chris Rock is selling like $3,000 tickets right now. Most of us are pushing $3,000. Most of us are lucky if we're even pushing $3,000 a month at our job to pay our rent. So we have to really keep in perspective what is really in perspective and focus on our real lives. I don't know these people. I don't know anything about them. Never met them. Never seen them. But I'm seeing this person. I'm seeing you. 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 I can touch you. That's all that matters. I don't know them people. They don't know you, and I guarantee you they're not thinking about you right now, and they definitely don't care about your problems, because they ain't coming down to Roxbury to help none of us. I have never seen any of them.
Real quick.
Anyway, but did he donate? Did he donate to the Roxbury Library? Did he come in to like Orchard Park or Orchard Gardens? Did he come down to introduce himself to the kids, or was he at a fundraiser somewhere in Beacon Hill? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, we're wasting time. It's not really, thank you.
Yeah, Jermaine. We'll go real quick. This is gonna be really quick.
That's tough to follow.
I was going to say that I do think we're wealthy. But I also feel like wealthy people do have problems. And I think just because they're wealthy doesn't mean that their life isn't complicated or issues. Like the fact that they still have to face what did just go down, and like the embarrassment that they're feeling, or the guiltiness, or whatever concerns come up for them. I think, I haven't seen the clip. I don't know what exactly went down. I think it's important to have self-respect in regards to all of it. And I also think it's a like complex in regards to public versus private, and maybe they could have handled it in a private way. So maybe not slap him in public, but have a discussion with him and be mature about the situation in that way. But that's all. Yeah, like, yeah, let me see you after the show. Yo, Chris, where you at, Chris? We gotta talk.